I think it's getting about time to replace this mirror. There's a Wolfbox G900 that I installed in my Jeep JK, and that features a nice big 12-inch wide screen, and the entire screen is a video screen. When I go to put this in reverse, this is what I get up here. Just this little bit of an image, and a lot of times that's just not enough for me to be able to see real well. And looking at the back, it looks pretty easy to unplug and remove the mirror from the standard windshield button. And I think all I have to do is squeeze the connection in here. A little bit hard for me to get my fingers in. And it should pop out. There we go. And then all I'll do is I'll just tuck this connection up underneath the headliner, somewhere up in here. And the next thing is to loosen this retaining screw on the bottom of the bracket for the rearview mirror. Once you loosen that up, the mirror should slide right off over the top of the windshield button. And with that button loosened or removed, just give this a little wiggle and it will come right off. I received all the parts for my Wolfbox G900 dash cam mirror. This is the wiring kit. They even give you a little trim removal tool. That's the orange piece right there. This is the mounting bracket that will fit on the back of the G900 and will also fit over the stock windshield button. When you go to order this mirror mount, they are vehicle specific. So if you don't find your vehicle in the listing that they have provided on the Wolfbox website, just get a hold of customer service. Drop them an email. They're very quick to respond. Usually they'll want you to send a photo of what your mirror or your mount looks like on the stock vehicle, and then they will let you know which one to go ahead and order. And that's exactly what I did, just to make sure that I got the one that was going to fit on my van. Unboxing is very easy. The entire package is covered in a shrink wrap. Just slide off this sleeve and then open the interior box itself. Everything is very well packaged, very well protected. And this is the dash cam mirror itself. These little clips that you see, those are in case you want to use the provided rubber straps, and that is to attach that over your existing mirror. In my case, I removed my stock mirror and I'm just going to use the stock windshield button to attach this to. That's why I end up buying the mount that slides down over the stock windshield button. This is the front camera, and this is a front view of those little clips that I just showed you. You can pop off these little pads, and then I believe it's a Phillips screw. You can unscrew each one of these and remove them, because what we're going to do is take that mount that I purchased separately, and I'm going to attach it to the back and make it a permanent mount that will slide directly into my stock windshield button. These are only on here for the purpose if you wanted to keep your stock mirror and you just want to fit this over the top of it. They have little rubber straps in a couple different sizes that would attach onto the bottom and to the top, and they would go around your stock mirror and hold that in place. If you ordered up the optional mount to attach to your stock windshield mirror button, you're going to want to remove these clips because you're not going to need them. As I mentioned, those are just to hold the rubber straps on so that you can strap this over your existing mirror. So all you have to do is take either a razor blade or a small flat tip screwdriver, pry this up, pull it off. It's just self-adhesive. And you'll see that it's only held down with a little Phillips screw. Once you remove that little pad, just take your Phillips screwdriver, get this totally unscrewed. And it's going to be a little tricky trying to pry this out. It's not that it's hard, it's just that it sets in there perfectly. You might want to take something small to try to pry this out with. And a lot of times it's just easier to press on one end, and you can see it lifts the other end up, and then you can get it out of there. And once you get that little bugger removed, then the clip itself will slide right out. And that's all it is. And you're going to set that aside because you're not going to use it if you're going to use the permanent mount. And now that those little buggers are removed, I've got the permanent mount kit, as I stated, and it comes with this bracket. This bracket is going to sit right here in place. See how that's seated right in there nice and tight? And don't get rid of these little screws that just came with those clips, because you're going to reuse those screws to attach these four corners back into the camera itself. Okay, I got the first one started here, and I'll go back through and I'll put the remaining three screws in here and then go all the way around and tighten them up. And now that the four screws have been installed, you take your bracket, and you can see this has 4 holes, and this is going to line up perfectly on there and seats right in perfectly. And they provide you with the screws to attach this into the backer piece. Makes the whole thing one piece. And don't forget, this is the front of the camera. This is the front camera itself, and this just has a piece of protective paper on it to protect the lens. And just snug those up real good all the way around, and make sure that they're nice and seated in there. And that's your completed setup for installation. You can see this is going to slide right down over the button on the windshield, and this is going to be your mirror. This is just a clear plastic protective piece covering the screen that will peel off. And that's your forward camera. Like I said, that's a protective piece of plastic on there that you're going to peel off. And once you get the dash cam mounted up on the stock windshield mirror button, it's going to look just like any other rear view mirror, other than the fact that you're going to have a full screen of view once this is all hooked up. All I need to do is make my electrical connections to the rear camera, the GPS, and the power, peel off this cover that's on here that's protecting the screen, and it'll be all set to go. Wolfbox has tried to provide everything they can think of to provide you with a hassle-free installation. Even though there is a mount on the rear camera, they do provide you with an additional mount in case you want to do a different configuration. They also provide you with self-adhesive back cable clips. Then in addition to that, you get this very thorough dash cam user manual, which explains everything that's needed to set your camera up and get it working. And it's very, very easy. If you own a cell phone, you know what it's like to go ahead and get into your settings and make changes. It's the same thing. It's very easy to do. Everything is a touch screen on this camera. So it's very easy to select your settings menu and then go from there. Okay, now let's take a look at the hardwire kit. This is your main wiring harness. This end is going to plug into the connection on the top of the dash cam mirror. That's going to provide the power to it. At this end, you're going to have your ground, you're going to have your constant source of power, and your accessory power connections. They give you a little what resembles a trim removal tool, and this is primarily used just to kind of push or tuck the wiring into, let's say, between the trim and the headliner. And since there are different vehicles on the market, you have a variety of different fuse taps here, and each of the fuse taps has a little bullet connector, and those will press into the connections right here. And for your wire connections, your black is going to connect to a source of grounding. Your red wire is going to connect to accessory power, and your yellow wire is going to connect to a source of constant power. I just want to point out that the Wolfbox G900 comes with a basic wiring harness, and you may find that in a vehicle like my 2021 Chevyexpress van, this is not going to be long enough to reach a power source. So what you're going to have to do is contact customer service, tell them the vehicle you have. They are very, very happy to accommodate you. And this is not going to be long enough to reach all the way from that mirror, that dash cam, all the way down the pillar and underneath the dash to a power source, because every vehicle is going to be different. But in the Chevyexpress vans, you have two fuse boxes. One is located in the engine compartment. The other one is located under the driver's seat. There's no way that this is going to be long enough to reach those. Like I said, contact customer service. They are super, super friendly and helpful. And should you have any questions about what wire goes to what, they do include an instruction booklet. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to Wolfbox customer service, because I've had to do that in the past, and I found that they are very quick to respond, very thorough, and their main goal is to make sure that you're satisfied. And just in case you don't feel comfortable tapping into your fuse block, then they also provide you with this 12-volt power adapter. Just plug it into your 12-volt power source that most every car has today. And it's got a really long cable to run up to the mirror. You can run it up maybe through the A or B pillar and up across your headliner trim, and then plug it in to the G900. And you can get your power that way. And in this package will be the rear view camera, and that has a couple different mounts inside, and you can see a huge length of cable to run from the front to the back of your vehicle. And I had plenty of this left over just running it in my two-door Jeep JK. I mean, that thing's not very long as it is, but I'm glad it is real long, because I should have no problem running this the full length of my Chevyexpress 2500. And just as it was with the power cable, you can also request from Wolfbox customer service a longer cable to run to the rear camera. I opted to get a longer one because I wasn't sure if it was going to reach from the front of my van to the back, and then also to the outside. This is the actual camera itself and the lead that comes with it. The camera has a mount already fastened onto the bottom. This can be removed. They also provide you with a different mount in case you want to change the configuration up. Once you run your cable through your vehicle, this end and this end are going to plug together. That makes that connection. This end is going to plug into the port on the top of the G900. And the red wire is your backup circuit wiring. You're going to attach the other end of this to your backup light, and that will trigger the dash cam mirror to come on automatically when you go to put the vehicle in reverse. And this is the GPS module, and you can see it's got a plug right here on one end and the module on the other end, and a pretty long length of wire. And all you're going to do, come up here to the top of the dash cam, and it's going to plug in right here where it says GPS. You can't mix anything up because all the connections only go into where they're supposed to go, and that's it. The back of the GPS module has a removable strip that protects a self-adhesive pad. Just remove the strip, and you can see where I stuck my GPS module on the front of my dash near the front of the windshield. And all I'm going to do is snake it alongside the crack already in the dash, and I'm going to use the tool that they've provided to help push it down into the crack. This tool comes in real handy for snaking this wire down into the crack. Just give it a little push and work your way along until you get it seated in there. And you can't even see where I've already run the wire up through. I came up behind this piece of weather stripping, and I was just able to pull this out enough with this tool to slide the wire back into here. I came across the top right here, again using this tool, and it brought it out here right near the windshield and where the headliner meets. And I can just sneak it across the top of this headliner right over to the mirror. One way that may make it quite a bit easier for you to snake the wires down through is to loosen up this trim piece right here. You have a 10mm bolt right behind this cover and one down here. And to gain access, take a small flat tip screwdriver, pop it in here and gently pry, and then pull this. And you're going to see that you have a bolt that will remove with the 10mm socket. And that will loosen this all up so that it makes it a ton easier running wires down through. If you remember at the beginning of my video, I removed the stock mirror and I had to disconnect the wiring harness and kind of tuck it up into the headliner. Well, that left this little space open that's cut into the headliner, and it was a perfect spot to bring the GPS module wiring up to the new mirror. And that's what I'm going to do with the rear camera and also the power source. All those two wires are going to be run up here along with the GPS, and they're going to feed right here into the camera itself. When you go to remove this protective cover, all you have to do is go up here to the corner, and there's a little tab sticking out. Just pull on that, and this removes that easily. But I want to point out that when you look at the Wolfbox G900 with the display off, it looks just like any other rear view mirror that you have in your vehicle. And to turn it on, you just reach underneath here and there is a button to press, and that turns the display on. I just want to note that it doesn't matter if the display is turned on or off. The front and rear cameras are still going to record. Your front camera is going to record in 4K video. The rear camera, if you have that plugged in and set up, is going to record in 2.5K. To adjust the settings on the Wolfbox G900, very simple. It's all a touch screen, just like your cell phone is. Just touch the screen, go into the settings icon, and there you have all your settings that you can scroll through for adjusting the screen brightness, setting up your, the formatting of your SD card, or whether you want the GPS to display on the screen, your time zone setting. Everything that you need is right here. And to get back out, you just hit the reverse arrow button, and the back button will bring you back to the main screen. You also have a little microphone icon right here, and that will turn the microphone on or off to record the audio inside the vehicle. Okay, so now you've heard me talk about the fact that I bought the first G900 for my Jeep JK, installed that, and I liked it so much that I bought another G900 for my Chevy van. And I liked this product so much, I asked Wolfbox if there was any way I could offer my subscribers a discount code to where you could obtain a discount on any of their products, because they do sell other things on their website besides these dash cam mirrors. So they agreed, and I'm going to place a discount code on the screen, and it will be good for any of their products. So take advantage of it. Well, at this point, it looks like I'm going to have to place the rest of the Wolfbox G900 installation on hold. The black wire that you see running horizontally there is the wire that's run from the dash cam itself all the way to the back doors. That is going to feed the signal through for my rear camera. The only problem I have is it is sub-zero outside, and I'm going to attach the camera to the roof of my van with a piece of 3M VHB tape, and there's no way that's going to stick in this cold weather. I just want to point out that this is not a how-to video. I'm just showing you how I've done this in my Jeep JK and now in my van. If you don't feel comfortable running wires, then you shouldn't. You should find someone who can do the job and do it to be careful of things that you may run into, such as, you can see it right there, the airbag. This airbag sits right above the passenger door, and there's also one, I believe, down that B-pillar where I had removed the 210 millimeter bolts. When I removed those bolts, I was just to loosen the trim up, not to pull it off or away from the vehicle itself. I just loosened it up enough so I could snake the wires in behind it to hide them, and then I put the bolts back in place. But you do have to be wary of these different things that are, especially in the newer vehicles. My Wolfbox G900 rear camera is going to mount right here on top of the brake light. And just like with my solar wires, you snake them right down through this hole. Come on over here to the tail light, and don't forget, this tail light and trim assembly removes with just a couple of nuts, and this opens it up so that you can fish the wires in through a vent that goes right to the inside. Really easy, no drilling of holes anywhere. Well, hopefully you take enough away from this video to where it shows you just how easy it is to install one of these dash cam mirrors. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and I thank you all very much for watching.